Welcome to Daily Harmony. Today we're going to dive deep into a really specific idea from A Course in Miracles, Lesson 156. I walk with God in perfect holiness.
It's a powerful one.
It really is. And, for anyone out there feeling that pull towards more peace or maybe just curious about what's really true about ourselves underneath all the daily stuff, this lesson offers a fascinating angle.
Definitely.
So we're going to try and unpack what walking with God means here and how it connects or is this perfect holiness using the Course's own words from the workbook.
Yeah, the aim is really to make it clear, relatable, and maybe help you see how it applies in your own life, see if those aha moments pop up.
Exactly. So we've got the workbook text, some background notes. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the absolute core idea right off the bat is that walking with God is the same thing as perfect holiness. They're synonymous in this context.
So not like step one, walk with God. Step two,
Yeah.
achieve holiness.
No, not sequential. The Course suggests the very act, the very state of walking with God is the experience of perfect holiness. It's not something separate you attain while walking.
Okay.
Think about it this way. If you're truly connecting with, that divine source, that infinite love and peace, how could your essential being be anything but whole and well holy?
Right. It reframes holiness entirely.
It does. It moves it away from being about specific deeds or rituals alone.
Because holiness, I think, for a lot of people sounds, I don't know, intimidating, like something reserved for very special people, maybe saints or something.
Exactly. And this lesson kind of democratizes it, if you like. It suggests it's fundamental to who you are through that connection already present.
Okay, I get that. But it's not just passive, you said. It's an active experience.
Yes, very much so. The Course stresses that. It's available right now, any moment you choose to align your mind, your will, with that divine presence, however you understand it.
So a conscious choice.
A conscious choice to tune into that awareness of connection. That is the active part.
So when it says walking with God, is that, should we picture that literally? Or is it more metaphorical for an inner state?
It leans much more towards metaphor, towards that constant inner state of alignment.
Okay.
It's about aligning your thoughts, your intentions, with that divine spark within. Maybe that means choosing a loving thought over a fearful one, or compassion over judgment, even in tiny moments. When you consciously make that alignment, the lesson says, boom, you are walking with God. You are in that state of perfect holiness.
That's quite something. So the Course mentions this lesson reminds us of our inherent connection to the divine. Why is that reminder so important? What's the significance?
Well, within the whole framework of ACIM, it's huge. It's a core reminder of our true identity.
A true identity.
Yeah, the teaching suggests our basic nature, our essence, is rooted in this holiness. It's untouched by all the drama and chaos we perceive in the world, the stuff the Course often calls illusion.
So the part of us that feels separate, flawed, maybe anxious, that's not the real deal according to this.
That's exactly what the Course calls the ego. The ego story is all about separation, lack, fear. This lesson points us away from identifying with that ego mind.
And towards identifying with that deeper, connected, holy self.
Precisely. Recognizing that inherent connection helps us shift allegiance, you could say, from the ego to our true self.
And that shift, that's where the healing comes in.
And
Forgiveness, too.
Absolutely. Understanding this is presented as vital for healing our own minds and, crucially, for how we see others, which opens the door to forgiveness.
Okay, let's talk about forgiveness. It comes up so often. How does realizing my inherent holiness help me forgive someone else or even myself?
It's a fascinating link. When you start to accept, even just intellectually at first, that your core essence is this untouched holiness, it naturally extends outwards. You start to glimpse that the same must be true for everyone else, underneath whatever behaviors or errors you perceive.
I see. So you look past the action to the essence.
Kind of. It makes it easier to release the judgments, the grievances. The Course suggests forgiveness isn't about saying harmful actions are okay,
Right.
but about recognizing the shared underlying holiness in the person, releasing the judgment that keeps us stuck in negativity and separation. It frees us.
That makes sense. Okay, so this is a big transformative idea. But how do we actually do it? How do we bring walking with God in perfect holiness from a concept into, Tuesday afternoon?
Great question. The practical side is key. The Course offers concrete things, like starting your day with the affirmation, I walk with God in perfect holiness.
Just saying the words.
Well, saying them with intention. It's like setting your frequency for the day, a conscious reminder of your true nature and the state you want to inhabit.
Setting the tone.
Exactly. And then there are those mindful moments.
Tell me more about those.
Throughout the day, just pausing, maybe just for a breath. Close your eyes for a second, breathe deeply, and intentionally feel or visualize yourself walking alongside that divine presence, feeling that love and guidance.
So like hitting a reset button during the day?
Yeah, a mini reset. It's about actively cultivating that feeling of connection, especially when you feel pulled off center by, life happening.
Right.
Imagine feeling that sense of calm guidance walking in the park, or maybe feeling a deeper connection during a conversation, or even just sitting quietly.
Those sound manageable. The Course also mentions deeper practices like journaling and meditation. What do those add?
They take it a level deeper, more reflective. Journaling encourages you to really explore personally what walking with God feels like for you.
So making it your own.
Yes, thinking about times you have felt connected, maybe without labeling it that way, and how it felt, how it perhaps influenced you.
Well, meditation.
Meditation provides that dedicated space to really focus on the concept, the feeling of holiness. Visualizing light, affirming your connection, letting the experience sink in, moving it from just an idea in your head to something felt.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that holiness is an active experience, not passive. Why is that distinction so important?
It's crucial because if it were just static, something you either have or don't, well, it could feel out of reach.
Yeah, like you have to wait for lightning to strike or something.
Right. But seeing it as an active choice, the choice to align your thoughts, your will, with the divine, the choice to practice walking with God, that puts the power back in your hands.
It means we have agency. We can participate in experiencing this holiness.
Moment by moment, yes.
So what about the tough stuff? When life feels uncertain or challenging, how does this lesson help then?
That's where it can become a real anchor. Remembering this inherent connection, this true holy nature, can offer a profound sense of inner peace and stability, even when the outer world feels chaotic.
Like a foundation?
Exactly, a foundation. It helps you tap into that inner guidance system, navigate challenges with maybe a bit more trust and a bit less fear. Because, deep down, your true self is safe, untouched. It's like having an inner compass pointing towards peace.
That's really helpful. Okay, one last big piece here. The difference the Course draws between our true identity and the ego identity. How does Lesson 156 clarify that?
It cuts right to the heart of it. Our true identity, the lesson says, is this inherent holiness, this unbroken connection. That's who we really are.
And the ego?
The ego is the belief system built on the opposite idea, that we're separate, alone, flawed, fearful. It's the voice of judgment and limitation.
So by embracing the idea, I walk with God in perfect holiness.
You're actively choosing to identify with your true self, not the ego's story. You loosen the grip of that limited, often painful ego perception of who you are and what the world is. You start identifying with love, not fear.
Wow. Okay. So wrapping this up a bit for you, our listener, what's the big takeaway here? This deep dive seems to suggest that perfect holiness isn't some distant goal.
Not at all. It's presented as your actual reality right here, right now, whenever you consciously choose that alignment, that walk with the divine within you.
So maybe think about this. Where, in your own day, even for a moment, could you intentionally practice feeling that sense of walking with inherent holiness?
Yeah, maybe it's a quiet moment with your coffee, maybe when you're connecting with nature, maybe dealing with a difficult email or talking to someone you love. Where can you bring that awareness in?
The invitation, really, is to gently shift your focus. Move away from feeling separate and alone.
And lean into the peace that the Course says comes from recognizing that shared divinity, that connection that's always there, never broken. So maybe something to reflect on as you go about your day is this. How can you consciously bring this understanding, walking with God in perfect holiness, into your life, especially when things feel tough or uncertain?
It's definitely a question worth holding on to, a different way to frame things.
It really is. It changes everything, potentially.